Hello, everybody. This is Pun, the Frugal Streamer. And one of the most important things that a new streamer, or any streamer for that matter, can do to help out their growth on their live stream is to give themselves discoverability. And one of the greatest ways to do that is to advertise your social media on your stream. Now, you see a lot of people that have these social media pop-ups. Okay. They can either go into After Effects, they can go into another program like After Effects and make these nice little 3D animated graphics that they can then use on their stream. But for people like me who don't know how to use After Effects that well, there is other ways to do it. Well, for one, you could pay somebody, and it'd be expensive for somebody to design you your own custom graphics, but that is an option. Or you can do like what I have done, and I have found a tool that you can make your own from a very popular source. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right, so Nerd or Die has made, they're calling it a free resource, okay? Let me call it Donateware, okay? You can donate money if you want to get this resource from Nerd or Die. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Stream PC. And you can go to Nerd or Die's webpage. Under Resources, go over to Free Overlays and select the social media pop-up. Okay. Now, they suggest a price of $3. And if you are a good, responsible human being, I would recommend you donating $3. Now, I have already bought this once, so I am going to, just for the purposes of showing you how to get this, I'm going to type in 0 and then add to cart. Okay. And then you simply go in check out and you type in your name, type in all your information. I'll place an order because it is free. You should get this download link. All right. If you don't, you may have to go back into your orders under your account. Okay. But you should get this download link for Social Media Pop-Up V2. Okay, when you get that, it's going to start downloading a zip file. All right. And what you're going to end up doing, provided that it starts working, but in any case, let me just go ahead and assume that it has downloaded. And I will show you the downloads here. And you can see where I have done a bunch of stuff here, but regardless, this is what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with this zip file. Okay. And you just need to unzip it, extract it to wherever you want to extract it to. For me, I have a folder for TFS assets, and that's where I've done it. Okay. And I've done it under the social media pop-up for Nerd or Die. Hit OK, and it'll extract all the files. And what you should end up with is you will end up with, I'm going to open this up. Now you should end up with this pop-up files folder and these important HTML links. Now the one that you're really going to concern yourself with is the video guide, or not video guide. I'm sorry. README. Click on README. When you click on README, this is going to be the instructions, okay, for how you do this. So I'm going to build one and you'll see how I do mine. All right. So for me, I want my Twitch. So you're going to click on each icon that you want here, and there's a number of options for all your different social media. So I'm going to click on Twitch. I'm going to click on Facebook, and I will do, good old YouTube. Why not? All right. So here, next thing you're going to want to do. Now you can also do custom icons if you have custom icons, which is cool. So as you click on these buttons, it's going to give you a text field for each of these different ones. So here I will just put in my name of my Twitch, which is the Frugal Streamer YT. And then Facebook is, of course, just the Frugal Streamer. And YouTube, of course, is also the same, Frugal Streamer. Okay. Once you have that done, all right, this is very important. You want to hit download image and download settings. Either side you can do, it doesn't matter, but I've been doing this. So download image, and I'm downloading settings. You're going to want to say keep on that one. All right, so notice I've been downloading a bunch of them for different reasons, which we'll get into here in a second. But I've got data values 5 and icon sheet 5. So let's go back to our file folder here. Now what that's done is it's placed these, it will place these in your settings and images. All right, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to your file manager. Okay, and you're going to need to go to the TFS assets for me, and I need to find my my nerd or die. There it is, social media nerd or die. Okay, then pop-up files, and then under settings and images, you have data values, icon sheet, and settings. All right. What you're going to need to do when you initially download this, you're going to need to drag this guy into this folder and this guy into this folder. All right. Now, I'm going to then delete this and this. This is the current folder. Now, what you need to do, if you're doing like what I'm doing, you're going to need to make sure that it is data values and icon sheet without any parentheses. Okay. Now, for your first time, you should not have to do this, but I'm going to show you something else here in a little bit where you're going to need to do this every time. So, all right. So make sure that those settings are like that, data values and icon sheet. Now, once you have done that, click on this link here, customize appearance and timings. Here you can adjust things like the pause time between each of your file or each of your pop-ups. You can adjust the in-between pause time, just how long you want it to repeat. Okay, how quickly you want it to repeat. You can change this to whatever you want. If you want it to repeat every 20 seconds, then that's what you would put here. Here you can actually change, and this is before I get into the rest of the stuff. This is kind of what it's going to look like, okay, on your stream. Here this will kind of give you a representation of the different colors that you can change and what it will end up looking like. So this will update as you change colors here. So your icon box color right now is white. You could change that. So say if you have a color combination that you want to use that is brand related or whatnot, you could do that. Or you can do colors based on, your social media. Okay. So for something like this, where it's going to repeat or do a bunch of them all at once, I would just set a particular color. If you have a particular brand color, like I have red, I use red. I would use that. I like the text box color for me is black, but of course you can change that if you want. And then, icon color, I actually like this being white. I thought it was actually better white. It's pretty nice. And then font color, here you can actually change that to do, whatever you want. Now here, I decided to just leave it white. You can also choose a specific font. You get a ton of different fonts that you can choose from if you like a particular style. You can also change the font weight if you want to move it up to make it a little thicker. You can adjust the font size. I've actually found that the defaults are actually pretty good. I did change my font weight a little bit in the original one that I made. I like the 600. And then, of course, you can adjust the Y offset a little bit, too, if you need to do that. When you get all of that adjusted and you're happy with what it's going to look like, all right, then you hit the download button. All right, again, you're going to want to hit keep on this. All right, so I have settings 5. Just like the other two that I did, you're going to now want to bring this into your window. All right, now let me delete the old settings. And I will then rename this to settings. All right, so now that is your 3. From here, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to set up a browser source inside of OBS. All right, pretty easy. All right, and for this, let me bring up Streamlabs OBS. All right, so once you get Nerd Die up, it's simply just adding a browser source, and then what I'll show you to do here is to add a link that you will get from your file folder. Now, go to pop back up to your social media there, and you're going to find the pop-up files, and you should have these 2 links here. You got one for left justified social media pop-ups and right. I'm going to select the right ones. Okay, open it up, and it should start updating here. And that's, yeah, it's going to show you what your pop-ups are going to actually look like, including the timings, the updates, and everything else. All you need to do, copy the link, paste it into your browser source, make it the size you want it. If you want it to be full 1900 by 1920 by 1080, that's fine. I'm going to leave mine at 800 by 600. It should be perfectly fine. And then there you go. Now, and you just need to move these wherever you need to move them. It's very popular that you can put this under like a webcam and then align it to the bottom of your webcam frame that you're using. That's how I've used mine. But now you have social media pop-ups, okay, which is pretty cool. All right, so now that's a simple setup for your live stream. Let me now close Streamlabs OBS and show you something else that you can do. So the next thing I want to show you is how you can use these pop-ups to advertise your social media on your content like you're making on YouTube. There's going to be a little bit of difference in that for these, it would probably be better for you to make one single little file for each of your things so that then you can manipulate them around in your timeline and your sequence that you're making for your videos. But I'm going to show you how you can actually make them here using OBS. All right, so what we have here is we have a blank scene. There's nothing there. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a browser source. And then we're going to go and get a copy again of the alerts that I have. And what I've done is I've got a link to my D drive, and this is how I get to it from my gaming PC. But I need to find the Nerd or Die social media pop-up. There we go. And then I will get the right side justification again, just like I did before. Interesting. All right. So we're just going to copy. Okay. Got that. And then we'll paste it in there. And I'm just going to leave it 800 by 600. Okay. Because we have the clearness. And, you know, you can move it wherever you want. I'm going to put it right here in the middle on the right side right there. All right. So next thing you want to do is you want to add a color source. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to find the chroma green and you're going to add that. Okay. Now we'll move this below or move the browser source above it. And we'll resize it. Okay. And what you might need to do based on the time that this runs is you need to go into the properties and just refresh your cache. Hit record first though. Then refresh your cache and let it record it, okay, with the chroma screen behind it. And when it's done, of course, stop your recording. Now this is the file that I'm using for the live stream, but like I said, I'd recommend you going and making individual files for each of your different social medias using the steps that I just showed you previously. And it'll take you a little time, and that's where you're going to have to go and rename it, because you're going to then have to rename each of those files to the settings and the, you know, get rid of those parentheses that I talked about earlier. So that's where that comes into effect. And you'll probably end up doing this, you know, 4 or 5 times, depending on how many social medias you want to make. All right, so I've stopped recording, and now we should have a file that shows the pop-ups coming in. Okay, well, this is one of them that I've made. This is another one, but for the sake of argument, okay, it's the same thing. All right. All right, so what we'll do now is go into Premiere, and we'll show you what you can then do in a video editing software using this to get rid of the chroma, and then you can make these little video clips that you can use for other videos. We'll move this back up here, give you the screen back, and then we will open your file folder. And I have, let's go into TFS assets here, because I've made these individually. So I've made a TFS Facebook lower third. Oh, I'm sorry. It won't show it because it's an alpha. So let me bring up Premiere and do it that way. And let me totally kill my PC while I'm recording and running Premiere at the same time. And we will see. Now, this is the software that I use for editing. You do not necessarily have to use Premiere Pro. Any editing software that supports alpha, you can do this with. DaVinci Resolve is a great free program that you can do this with. But if you want to get into content creation using YouTube, this is one of the things you need to do, is you need to tell your viewers how to get in touch with you in other places. Okay. So I don't know, maybe this was one I've done. Maybe this is a video I was working on. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what Untitled is. I get really lazy. All right, so it's nothing. All right, so we can take and drag these just so you can see them. And this is what it is. It's just a black screen with the Frugal streamer. If you take and record, let me see if I have raw. I should still have raw. I do. So here is the raw file, and I'll show you how you can do this. If you take the raw file, drag it into Premiere or whatever program you're using, and we'll play it so you can see what it's going to do. So this is my Facebook one. All right, so I'll trim this down to the point where it just comes in. All right, so about right there. We'll clip that and then delete it. And then I'll find a point to where it goes out. Right there. Clip that, delete it. And then what you're going to need to do, and it depends on the program, you need to figure out how to do this, but for Premiere, you're going to go to Video Effects, and you're going to find, where's it at? Keying. There we go, keying. And then I'm going to use an Ultra key. Now, all you need to do is click and drag the effect into the video, and it gives you an extra place to play with Ultra key here. And here, I'm going to choose my key color. Actually, I need to get it back on the video first and choose my key color. And now it has disappeared. Now this is an alpha. You don't have anything back here. It shows black here, but it's transparent. All right. So once you've done that and you're happy with it, you can then go and export this. And you need to do this to a codec that supports transparencies. So for me, I go to export settings and I choose QuickTime. And then I look for the Apple 4444 with alpha. All right. Then you will have an alpha transparency you can render in the background. I always do render at maximum depth. Make sure this says 8 or 16-bit, whatever, with plus alpha. Okay, make sure that's there. If it's not, if it's just that, you're not going to get the alpha. You need to make sure you have plus alpha. And then export it, and you're good to go. Now, I'm not going to export it because it would crash my computer if I tried running this and exporting it. But what you end up with is then you can go to a program that you want to, let's see, let me drag just a normal video. Let's see, I've got a proxy here of me talking from an older video. I'll stick that in here somewhere. And then we resize this so that you can see me. But you'll see that this will go right over the top of the video just like that. So then when you're talking to your people and you're advertising your social medias, you could just place this in the timeline where you discuss that for each of your social medias, and it plays. Quarantined, or most people are anyway. There's social distancing, which is actually pretty cool. There has been a huge increase in the amount of people who are. And then you can make one for Twitch. You can make one for, you know, whatever else you need. So there you go. Pretty neat. They don't show you how to do that on Nerd or Die. That's something that I I kind of figured out myself. So now I can use these on my YouTube, which you will see here, hopefully soon. So anyway, hope this little tutorial helped you out. Just follow it step by step. It's actually pretty easy. Just remember that the names for each of those files needs to say this, the settings. Let's see. Let me get back to it just so you can see it again. Make sure that these are named this specific thing here. If you have a parentheses behind these, you need to change them, rename them so that these match, and then get rid of the old files before you go and rename these. All right, so pretty simple, pretty easy to do. I thought it was nice, and it's a great free asset that you can then use for, whatever you need to use it for. So anyway, guys, if this helped you out, make sure you hit like. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. Check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Frugal Streamer YT. You can also check me out on Facebook at The Frugal Streamer, and hit me up on Twitter at Frugal_Streamer. Appreciate you watching. Make sure you maintain your social distancing. Be safe out there, and we'll see you later.